Welcome to Roosevelt Live Season 2. Today's topic is going to be a topic about pretty much about the First Amendment. I mean, we all know what it means. And, over the years, everybody talk about the First Amendment, of course, and our right to free speech. And I'm sure most people don't want to stifle our right to free speech. Every now and then, something raises its ugly head, that makes some people go, should we stifle free speech in certain cases? I'm not really for stifling free speech. I like the idea of the First Amendment allowing us to, protest and say the things we want to say. Even though you can't just go around, you can go around saying things that's incorrect, but you can get yourself sued for saying things that are incorrect. But I'm talking about Pastor Phelps out of Westboro, I think Kansas. It's the Westboro Baptist Church, and I think I'm sure he's out of Kansas. And they've been picketing. It's not something that just started, but it's in the news recently, and it kind of made me think about it again. And I thought, wow, what a situation where the Supreme Court is trying to decide whether or not they're going to make some amendments in order to protect people at funerals. Obviously, the church has been doing this for a while, picketing certain groups of people for various reasons that they think are credible reasons. I think they're insane to go to someone's son's or daughter or mother or father, whoever it is, funeral. And they seem to have this position that, well, anytime a funeral has been announced in the newspaper, it's out there for the public to see. So somehow they leapfrogged into, if it was in the paper, it's inviting the public out to come to the funeral. Whether that's true or false, coming to a funeral and protesting at someone's funeral and carrying crazy signs like God hate America and God hate Jews and homosexuality and saying that the military people are dying because of they are doing things contrary to what they believe should be done. And I don't know who gave these people the right to decide. I find it hard to believe that God is somehow communicating with these people at nights or in the daytime, whispering in their ear, sending them text messages. And yes, I'm being facetious when I say that, because these people somehow have made themselves God's disciples and have gone out and feel that they could do anything they want to do. And then they claim that they're Christians, but I'm having a hard time relating to anybody that will go out there and spread hate and actually make all kind of accusations about someone's family. They don't know this guy in particular. They don't know anything about that individual military person that passed away, that they can go to a funeral and hold up all kind of signs and make all kind of statements about him when his family is obviously grieving the loss of their son. I don't know how many times they've done this and into what major degree. I've seen it over and over and over again. I know they've been around for quite a while now. I think the church came into existence back in 1955, so it's not something that just started yesterday, but under the tutelage of Pastor Phelps. And maybe I shouldn't even be mentioning his name. I don't want to give him a bunch of unnecessary credit for his go out there and doing more profound and idiotic stuff. A lot of these people are fanatics to the point that they believe somehow that they're in charge of what everybody else is doing, and that they got a direct pipeline to God, and that God is feeding them information, and then they go out and tell the world how bad we are. Well, anybody that teaches hate, in my opinion, definitely are not Christian-like, in my opinion, because you should be. If that's the case, you teach love. Yeah, and I tell you what, I know I'm always saying something about myself, because God forbid, and in my family members something happened to them, because obviously that would be a devastating thing. But I can assure you, if someone was at one of my family members' funerals and they were protesting and they were saying things, they're not going to have to worry about the First Amendment and whether or not we should be allowing them to free speech. I'm going to stifle their speech myself. And I don't even care who didn't like it, because there's a line to be drawn. I don't care about the fact that you have a right to free speech. There's a line that's drawn in the sand, an imaginary line where you just go out there and just blatantly disrespect somebody's family underneath some grounds that you feel you have a religious right to do so. You don't have any right to do so. Yeah, I know. I got my First Amendment right. I know. We hear all that before. Well, that First Amendment right can get you in a lot of trouble. Because if it happened to me personally, I would take matters, not the law. I would take matters into my own hands, because I have a right, in my opinion, to grieve without having someone outside with picket signs, etc., etc. Now, I assume that there are some things you might do, but I don't know if you need to go as far as, because you still got to come out of the church, even though they're not, even if you deny them entry into the church or the synagogue or the hall or the building or whatever it might be, the funeral home, even if you deny them interest into there, they're still gonna be outside. So can you imagine going outside and the bodies coming out, and these fools, and that's what they are, fools. These fools are out there, holding up crazy signs. I mean, even a website, and I don't want to mention the website because I don't want nobody to find it on your own. I'm not gonna direct anybody to a website of that nature. I mean, I've been out there to look because obviously I'm reporting something that I want to go out there and search around on their own websites and see exactly what they're saying, so I won't be taking somebody else's word for it. And clearly, to me, they are hater of people, and they teach their family members to do the same thing. I mean, these people even brainwash children into doing and saying crazy things that they're not even knowledgeable of, and they're out there trying to protest something that they're not even necessarily familiar with or have the actual education to speak effectively or at least speak with knowledge. They're only being fed this cuckoo, whacked out, I don't even know what other words to call them, other lost for words, because it's so profound that someone would go out there and do the things that they did. I'm looking at the news the other day, and I'm looking at these people, and I'm thinking, first of all, do these people even work? I mean, jobs are hard to come by, and you're out there fooling around, flying from state to state just to show up at funerals to harass people while they're grieving. I don't know, because I know one thing, and I said it just a minute ago. If you showed up at mine, you might be showing up at the last one, because I think the reaction that I would have, and I know my family, and the reaction they would have, we're not a family of violent people. Of course, I only get the impression that we're out there, kicking butts and taking names kind of thing, because that's not the case. But we're not ones to be just disrespected and pushed around either. And we're all business people, for my brothers and my sisters and all. We're all legitimate people, taxpaying people in America. We're not out here, balling with criminal records and doing illegal activities. I don't want to get the wrong impression on my reaction, but I think that I saw that 48 other states are now, even trying to get on this bandwagon to see what can they do to stop this nonsense. Now, this is one of the monsters that we have in America, where we have these constitutional rights, and every now and then these little things, I want to call them little, these big problems crop up out of that ability to have free speech. A lot of people died in wars and things for us to have these rights, and when you do that kind of stuff and you fight for these freedoms, every now and then there are going to be these cases where it make you go, should we or shouldn't we? Should we or shouldn't we? Now it's going all the way to the Supreme Court. Now they're going to talk about it. I still say that I don't want my rights taken away for free speech. I don't even want their right taken away for free speech. But I just think it's in poor taste, no respect for the people that lost their family members. They seem to be spewing hate, definitely not love. I don't know what kind of religion they claim they are. I see where they say they're Baptists, but as a Baptist myself, I don't relate to that type of person. So anybody can say they're Baptist, Pentecostal, whatever they want to call themselves, is up to them. But I wish they would drop the name Baptist from their church, because I wouldn't want to be associated with anybody that's even using that language, because I wouldn't want the people to think that that's what Baptist churches do. I would hope they don't think that. Obviously, I believe, it's an isolated area of church. This church in particular that's out here now in the media every day, and they got a bunch of fanatics running around, bringing their kids out there, kids carrying signs, God hate America, God hate this. What are they talking about? When did God, when they got on the phone late last night, when they got a hotline, they're going to call up, talk to God and say, hey, God, you know what? These homosexuals, because they brought up, I'm bringing up because they brought it up. You gotta hate the homosexuals. Well, maybe God, maybe or maybe not. I'm not a spokesman for God, but I would assume that He doesn't hate anybody.